Gordon Ramsay is invited to your house for dinner. Each piece of criticism he gives about the food awards you $1,000. What are you serving for dinner? First, you have to brag about how amazing of a chef you are. This is critical as Gordon is a nice guy, but hates people who suck that should know better. Claim to have graduated from some culinary school or something. Second, gather the ingredients for his famous beef Wellington. Third, don't measure any of the seasonings. Just eyeball. Yes, it needs more salt, why not? Fourth, after letting it rest freeze then microwave the shit out of it. Fifth, respond poorly to his criticism thus invoking more criticism. Boiled chicken breast, blended, served as soup. I always thought chicken was fucking disgusting, and then I had slow cooked chicken, and it was amazing. Boiled in no way equals slow cooked, friend. Please, for the love of your taste buds, don't try boiled chicken. Vanilla chicken. True story, I once accidentally made vanilla salmon for my wife when we were dating. The recipe called for a Greek yogurt crust. I can't remember if I just tried to power through with what I had on hand or unknowingly grabbed the flavored yogurt. Didn't catch the smell or think to taste. We sat down, dug in, and almost gagged. 9 years later, vanilla fish is still used often as an analogy to where I may need to exercise caution or looks extremely likely to fail. Whatever fits in my microwave. A baby. Holla up. Gordon Ramsay is way harder on professional chefs than amateurs, so I try to make something complex enough that he'll have a lot to talk about, and good enough that he can tell I'm trying, and won't just be like the wild thing is terrible. I'd put together a sushi bar, some homemade chips and guacamole as an appetizer, and cheesecake for dessert. And some extra strength old fashions. Hopefully he'd comment on how they don't really go together well. I'm with you on team make something so strange that he can't stop talking about it. My little brother's signature ground toothpaste and jelly sandwich. Finally, some real fucking food. Totally read this in his voice. English is my second language and I've forever wondered just what is ground beef. I have now just realized thanks to you that ground beef is beef after grinding it, not beef from the ground, whatever that means. Reminds me of a joke I heard once. What do you call a cow with 3 legs? Tree tip, what do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef, what do you call a cow with 1 leg? Steak, what do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. A cow with 2 legs is called your mom. If I give him something vile he might not eat all of it, and the longer he's at that table the more money I can milk out of him. So honestly I'd make him my best dish with a few obviously weird choices thrown in. That way it'll be edible enough for him to take at least a few bites, and seeing how he handles signature dishes on Hell's Kitchen I'm going to get picked the fuck apart anyway. Bonus points if I learn a better way to make my best dish. Double money if I can talk myself up before serving. Double money if I can talk myself up before serving. This is the real key I think a lot of other replies are missing. Gordon hates arrogant chefs the most and spends the most time breaking them down. You'd be rolling in cash if you did that lol. My boss adores Gordon Ramsay. When we are busy they'll come in shrieking and berating us where the customers can hear. Boss even warns new hires that on our busiest days they'll scream and shit. Admits they do it specifically for the customers to hear, so they can be like Ramsay. I have a fantasy of Gordon showing up one day, seeing our line out the door, seeing our massive amount of tickets, us staying cool and collected, still pumping out quality food. Then hearing boss losing their shit over nothing, and hands them their ass. Our dreams. Do they know that Gordon only does that for TV? And that he would never actually try to run a restaurant where guests can hear him screaming at his chef and staff just for theatrics? He would seriously hate your boss lol. Because that sounds like a shit ass restaurant with a crazy owner? Your boss doesn't adore Ramsay. He adores Ramsay's fake TV personality. The real chef Ramsay would never yell at people like he's putting on a show in his own restaurant, because that would essentially be like yelling at yourself. Ramsay wants to give customers a great experience with amazing food, not a fucking screaming match TV show at a restaurant when you're just trying to relax and enjoy food and company. Jesus Christ. That's fucking madness, GBH. Your boss is an idiot. True story. He came into our restaurant in D-Bay, never ate though, but only had drinks in the bar. Politest guy ever. He has a restaurant in D-Bay, and I met the manager. Gordon doesn't work there, but checks up now and again, and she says that he is the coolest and most reasonable person ever. The Hell's Kitchen Gordon is just a character he plays. If you're in the US, the whole restaurant industry is having a major hiring crisis, and you don't need to put up with that bullshit. Get your line to walk on a busy day and find jobs in a decent kitchen. I don't know why they think this is a good idea. I'd never want to eat at a restaurant where Gordon Ramsay is cursing someone out. That's guaranteed to be a shit restaurant. Best place to genuinely try. Hit up a 6-course meal. Use Gordon's own recipes a couple of times. If he gets pissed off at you, he'll just leave. Trying to make his Wellington recipe will get you an easy 5 or 6 grand, even if you do a good job. Hit up a 6-course meal 0. Chef's welcome. Deviled quail eggs. Intentionally leave out the mustard. Place a single hair on the plate. He will notice the hair first and complain. When he tastes the egg and notices there is no mustard, you will have sufficiently set the mood. 1. A plate with fresh shrimp. Peel the shrimp, but do not remove the head. Instead, cut off the head with a good portion of meat, so that only about 60% of the shrimp is left. He will not be able to comprehend where the rest of the shrimp is. He will complain about you charging people for only half of each shrimp. You can then confidently assure him that more than half the shrimp was there too. Make some sort of summer pasta salad. Something like Israeli couscous and zucchini. Overcook all of it so that it has the texture of instant oatmeal. He will be disappointed and complain about each part of the dish being wet mush. Apologize to him that he can't taste how great it is. Let him know you cooked it perfectly for the way you like it. 3. Make a little slider plate. Use his 10 million subscriber burger recipe. Freeze the patty. Get your stove ripping hot and get a nice seat on the outside, but make sure the inside is still slightly cold but not frozen. When you serve it to him, let him know that he taught you how to make this one. He will complain about it being cold and will criticize your inability to follow an instructional recipe and your incompetence at cooking a simple burger. Apologize. Under your breath, say what the fuck when you walk away. He will complain saying what the fuck is right, you can't even make a burger. 4. Next is the lobster plate. You've seen his instructional video on how to get meat out of a lobster. Disregard it. Make sure the tail and claws get slightly shredded when you are removing them. When you plate, arrange the meat so that it looks like you're disguising the fact that the claws and tail are disfigured. Overcook the lobster so that it is rubbery. Serve it with butter, but actually mix equal parts vinegar and butter. He will criticize every aspect of this dish while attempting to eat as much as he can, since everyone feels bad about throwing away lobster. 5. It's time for the steak. Use a nice cut of steak that is marbled, but not nearly wagyu. Liberally salt it, as if you were trying to cure fish, similar to the amount of salt used when dry braining a slab of pork belly, and leave it in the fridge for 3 days. The result is that the steak is very tender, but tastes only of salt. The taste of beef is completely eradicated. Sear the steak perfectly and serve it to him as wagyu. Assure him it is wagyu. He knows it is not wagyu. 6. Dessert plate. Assault his senses with chudufu, stinky tofu, with some sort of durian puree. Prepare the dish nicely and let the overwhelming odors, akin to a mixture of dirty gym socks and farts, be the only negative part of the dish. Something raw with no lamb sauce. Maybe my great grandmother's remains. sauce. R/twas intense a horror Jesus Christ dude. Right? No lamb sauce. Doesn't matter what I'm serving. What matters is I'm gonna let him know how amazing I think I am, and how he himself couldn't make the meal any better if he tried. He'll spend the first 5 minutes trying to chop down the ego he thinks I have, the next 2 on why my food is dog shit, and the last 10 defending his own ego. You're right, chef. I'm a horrific cook. If you'll excuse me, I have to go deposit this check at a physical bank location, because it's over my mobile deposit limit. Edit. While I appreciate all the replies offering sound advice on exactly what kind of shitty meal to prepare, I find it necessary to share my level of dedication to hyping up whatever garbage is on the serving platter. Put it to you like this. Can I loves can I, and I'll let you finish replying, but am be the greatest ketchup sandwich hype man of all TAHNE. You've made it to the end of the video, you absolute madlad. Like, comment and subscribe for more edit content.